Now our YouTube class is on air right now. So what we can do is I can give you the link to the YouTube video for this, and you'll be able to see it and view it again at home. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna learn about Pythagorean theorem, and somebody had asked, like, is this trigonometry? And yes, we are entering the trigonometry unit, and this is one of the first lesson on trigonometry, Pythagorean theorem. Now, before we dive right into this, I want us to take a look at our calculator and get familiar with some of the buttons that we're going to be using to do this. Okay, so the first button that I want you to locate is the square button. It has the X and then a little 2. Sometimes it's Y with a little 2 on top. That's square. Okay, square button. Other calculator have this, looks like an upside down V. It's called a caret key. Okay, and what it does is you have to press this, and then you have to let the calculator know that it's squared. So after you press this, and you have to press 2 right after. Okay, so let's do a practice here for a second. Let's do a run. Let's do 5 squared. Okay, so on your, oh yeah, so sometimes it's, yeah, sometimes people have y to the x, y to the x, and then you go 2. Okay, so these are the possibilities. I'm just gonna go quickly around just to make sure that everybody has the same or similar stuff. Okay, so just by the raising your hands, who has the square button? Okay, so some people have the square button. Who has the caret key? Okay, you have a caret key. Sometimes you have that, sometimes you don't. And then sometimes you have y to the x or x to the y button. Okay, is that good? Now let's do 5 squared. So you can put 5, type in 5, and then the square button. Okay. You might have, if you have the caret button, you're gonna put 5, then the caret, and then the 2. Okay. Or if you have y to the x button, you can go 5, y to the x, and then the 2. Okay, so all of you have different calculators, right? Not everyone is the same, but you would get, yeah, 25. Then press enter equals 25. Did everybody get 25? Good. So that's the first part, just getting to use that one. Square button. Now another thing too that we're gonna take a look at and use for Pythagorean theorem is the square root button. Okay, where is your square root button? It would look like this. Okay, that's a square root. Sometimes it has just that, or square root x. Okay. Take a look and see if you can see the square root button on your calculator.
Square root button.
Yeah, square root button.
So then type it what?
Oh, not yet. I haven't given you anything to type yet.
So that's
your square root button is
second function.
Okay, so you're gonna go axis, and you're gonna go second function. I'm waiting for you to type in a number, right? Everybody get square root button. Yeah. Or then we have the square root button. Where's that? Also axis, that one, you have to go second function, and that. Okay? And Did you find it? Yeah, very good.
Haven't seen you before.
I want you to listen. You want to listen to this lesson? What she's teaching. You want to listen to what she's teaching? Let's see. Yeah, she's here, so she's explaining this. So listen.
You just do any number? You found it? Okay. So everybody pretty much found the square root button. Now we're just gonna give it a try. Okay? Here it is. Okay, let's try. Try square root of 100. Square root of 100.
Okay, square root of 100.
Yes. Okay. Did you get a number?
Square
Yeah.
root of
10. Okay. Did everybody get 10?
yeah.
Okay. Good. Good. Did you get 10?
I got.
You got 10. Okay. Awesome. So the reason why we're doing this first, getting to know your calculator, square root button, and the square button. Okay. Squaring and square root. Now, what does a Pythagorean theorem, what does it really mean? Well, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's a part of trigonometry, which the word trigonometry is anything related to triangles. And everywhere you look around, there's probably lots of triangles that you're gonna see.
That's a trigonometry.
That's trigonometry, right? Triangles.
How about geometry is different?
Oh, that's different. That's a different YouTube video. Okay? So in trigonometry, we're going to focus on anything that's triangle, finding the sides, finding the angles. So in this case, with Pythagorean theorem, we're just going to find the sides. And what does a Pythagorean theorem do? Okay. So you may write this down on your notes. Pythagorean theorem. Okay. This is used if we have a right triangle. Okay. A right triangle. Well, somebody's gonna ask, well, what is a right triangle? What is a right triangle? Not the wrong triangle, the right triangle. Anybody has heard of right triangle before? Okay. Not yet? Okay, not yet. Right triangle means a triangle that has 90 degrees in it. Now, well, you're gonna ask, your next question is, well, what makes a 90 degrees, right? Okay, 90 degrees when we have a triangle that's perpendicular to each other. It's like an L shape, right? Like, look at it like an L shape. Okay, where's the L shape? Right there. That's your right triangle. This makes this angle here 90 degrees. Okay, so that's a right triangle. Now, the right triangle can look like that. Sometimes it can look like this. It's just upside down, and that's okay, right? So that's okay. This is still a right triangle because this is still a 90 degrees right here. Little box there, 90 degrees. It could be in a slightly angle like this. Okay. The L shape is still 90 degrees right there. Right. Okay. So all of these are right triangles. Okay, they're just turned upside down, right, or sideways, and whatnot. Okay, so Pythagorean theorem only works if we have a right triangle. And how do we know if we have a right triangle? When we have a 90-degree straight edge. Okay, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to label the sides, okay? I'm going to label this as C. This is side C. And then this is, I call side A. And then this is side B. Okay? So we got three sides. Side A would be this one. Side B would be this one, the one that's up and down. And then I got side C, that's the slanted piece. So go ahead and write that down.
Straight. So my 90 degrees. This nice angle.
Okay, so far so good? Okay, now, I think anybody can answer this question. If you feel like you want to answer, you can raise up your hand and then I'll call you out, okay? Which side do you think is the longest side? Is it side A, side B, or side C? Which one do you think is the longest? And then you can, okay. You think C, okay. You also think C. Okay, some people say C. Okay, C sounds good, but I don't know yet, right? I don't know if it's the longest. So how do you think I could do so that I can prove or see that it's the longest?
They're equal. Equal.
They're equal? A and C are equal?
B and C are equal.
Oh, B and C are equal? Okay. What can I do so that I can see what's longest? Oh, measure. Good. Yeah. Get the hint? Yeah. Ruler. Right. So I'm going to measure some stuff out in here. Okay? Okay. And this is why it's good to have a ruler. Right? So A, what do you think A is? Huh? How big is A? How long? 8, about 8 centimeters, right? Okay, so this is about 8 centimeters, right? Okay. How big is this one? About 6 centimeters. Okay, yeah, okay. I did well, actually. Okay, so I'm going to write this down. We say this is what? 8 centimeters, right? The B is 6 centimeters. And you said C is the longest side? Oh, how big is that? 10. 10 centimeters. So, are we now convinced that the side C is the biggest side? Yes? Yeah. Everyone's convinced now that it's... Now, okay, I'm gonna try another one, okay? I'm just gonna not measure, okay? Okay, so here's a triangle. Okay, where's my 90 degrees here? At the, well, there are all corners.
That one,
The bottom right hand, right there. How do you know that this is a right angle?
This is a 90.
It looks like the L shape, right?
Yeah.
But it's like backwards. L. Yeah, so this is our 90 degrees. I'm gonna label them again. I'm gonna call this A, B, and C. A, B, and C. Now, side A, side B, and side C, which one do you think is going to be the longest of all the sides? Side C? You say C? 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 Okay. Everyone said C, right? Okay. This is 12. Okay. You don't have to write this part down. We'll do this later. This is 9. 12 and 9. This one better be the longest one. That's going to be about 15. 15, right? What did I say this was? 12, 9, 15. And these are all centimeters. What did you notice about where the longest side is?
Using the tip of the square at the right in your triangle?
This one?
No, the little square.
This one?
Yes,
Okay, what about it?
it's right up on mine.
Okay, right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the 90 degrees, right? The angle. And where is the longest side located?
Right across from it.
Right across from it, right? Everybody see that? So if this is my 90-degree angle, the longest side is always right across from the 90-degree angle. This is the 90-degree angle. This is going to be the longest side. Is that just a coincidence? No? Okay. Now I'm gonna open up my hand in here. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna use my ruler. So if I have a small angle, small opening in my hand, right here, small angle. See where the tip of my fingers are. Are they far apart or they're not that far? Okay. If I increase the angle, it gets bigger, gets wider. If I increase it up to 90 degrees, that's the biggest. So if I have a small angle, the tips of my finger are closer, smaller. If I have a bigger angle between my, right here, what do you call this? Wrist. There you go. Wrist. Then the tip of my fingers get farther. So that is a relationship here. Is that where the 90-degree angles is located, right across from it is going to be your longest side. Okay? Now, longest side. So, then what's the relationship between these three? Okay? There has to be some kind of a relationship between all three sides. Okay, here. Try this on your calculator. Try 8 squared plus 6 squared. Okay? 8 squared plus 6 squared. Okay, so we're gonna go around and we're gonna see 8 squared plus 6 squared. What number do you get?
100?
100? Okay, you got 100? Squared.
The carrot one.
6 squared equals. Okay. Try it. What'd you get? Yes.
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it? Okay. So
Okay, this is
before we
8
move on,
8 squared.
This is
Yes, yeah. Plus
plus
6
so 8 squared plus 6 squared is equal to 100. Okay, so this is 100. Okay. Now, can you also go to your calculator and type in 10 squared? 10 squared.
10 squared.
What's 10 squared equal to?
100?
100. Yeah, 100. So what happens here is that if I add these two and the square of these two is equal to the square of this one side. I can go 8 squared plus 6 squared is going to equal to 10 squared. 10 squared. So these two short sides, these are two short sides. If I square them each and I add them together, it's going to equal to the square of the longest side. Okay? And there's a formula for that, and I'm pretty sure some of you have seen it. Here's the formula. Okay? Here we go. The formula is, I'll go here, Pythagorean formula. Here it is. It's going to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay. A squared plus b squared equal to c squared. So these two are the short sides of the right triangle. Okay. So the A and the B are the two short sides in a right triangle. And then the C, how do we describe the C? This is the longest side of right triangle. And the longest side is, where is it located? Located across the 90-degree angle. So if we add up the square of those two short sides, I'm gonna end up with the square of the longest side. Okay. So far so good? Yeah? Okay, so now I haven't quite introduced some names on this one yet. Okay, I haven't introduced a specific name for this part. Okay, so there's a special name for this. The longest side in a right triangle. The longest side has a special, too special that has a name. So this is called the, yes, it is hypotenuse. Yeah. So the name is, the name of this side is called, I'm going to bring it in a little bit closer. It's called hypotenuse.
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 Is it height?
Yeah. So the hypotenuse, the short is HYP, hype. Right? It's hype. Hypotenuse.
HYP.
Okay. So, well, so what? So what? What? So what do we do with this piece? Okay. Is it okay if I move it? Yeah. This is a page 3. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's take a look at some examples. Here's an example. Okay, I'm gonna ask some people, and I'm sure anybody can answer this one. Okay. Okay. I'm actually not gonna mention a specific name because this is a YouTube video. Anybody can access a YouTube video, right? Somebody from a different country or down the road can listen to our conversation right now because we're on YouTube live. So I'm not going to mention any name. Okay, so just for privacy or anything like that. So I'll just point out some people, and I'm not being rude when I do that. Hopefully I don't come across as rude. So can you give me a number for A? I'll give you between 5 and 10.
6.
6, okay. We'll call it centimeters. Okay. 6 centimeters, okay. Okay. Can you give me a number between 10 and 15 for B? 12? Okay, 12. Okay. So 2 people from our class. Okay, now that doesn't look like a 6 centimeter and a 12 centimeter. That's okay. That's fine. It doesn't have, our picture might be a little bit weird depending on, right? So, here's the thing. How long is this piece? Because not everybody is gonna, create a triangle to do this, just to figure out that side. We can calculate it. So, what can we do? What can we do? We call this A. We're calling this B. What do you think is a makes sense that would go with this? C. Yeah, so C. What's a specific name for C? What's that special name? Hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. We're going to use that word all the time. Hypotenuse is your C.
Hypotenuse.
So, how do we do that? A squared plus B squared is equals to C squared. And I know pretty much all of you did this already, right? We did orders of operation before on your other booklet, so I know you can do that. So what we're gonna do, the first step is to write down your equation. Write down the equation. What's the next step you have to do? We're going to replace the values into the equation. So what do we replace the A by? 6, right? So we're going to replace A by number 6. It's called substitution. So this is going to be 6 squared plus b. Do we know what the b is? What can we replace the b by? 12. Yeah, so it's going to be 12, and then according to the formula, it's going to be 12 squared. What do we replace the c by? We don't have, right? So we're just going to call it c squared. Okay? So we know what the a is, it's 6. We know what the b is, which is 12. We are missing the c. Okay, so how can we do this? Okay, on your calculator, can you type in 6 squared plus 12 squared equals? I'll do the same thing.
I got 180.
180? Okay, I got 180 as well. Did everybody get 180? Yes, okay, good. Now your calculator is actually doing the orders of operation. Remember BEDMAS? Exponent first and then addition, right? Exponent, those are the squares, and then addition. So everybody got 180. 180 is equals to
C.
c squared. Well, we don't want the square. We don't want square in our
Centimeter.
yeah, so this is c. That's the length of this side. Now to get rid of the square, the opposite of squaring is square root. So we're going to take the square root of this side, and we're going to take the square root of this side. Okay, now take the square root of 180. Square root of 180. Did you get 13.4?
Yes.
Yeah. 13.4. That's equal to C. Okay, so
But I
I'm
just
just gonna
did
go and
multiply.
visit you. Yeah. So you type in the 180 first, and then the square root for you. Oh, okay. Okay. So that would be, get rid of that one, and then square. Square. So you can go 30, okay, yeah. Now you're gonna take the square root. Square root. Square root. Okay, so everybody got 13.4?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. So that tells us that this is 13.4. 13.4 centimeters. Okay, now do you believe that this is really 13.4? No, right? Because this is really not in scale, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it out. I'm going to draw it out. I'm going to draw out 6 in scale. In scale, so I'm going to put 12 first, just to make sure I have room. 12 first, right there. Okay, everybody can see me that I did up to 12, right? Yeah. And then I'm going to do 6 this way. I'm going to make sure that it's right angle for me. I'm just eyeballing here. It kind of looks like 90 degrees, right? If I go like this, does that look like 90 degrees to you? No, right? It has to be like an L shape. Okay, so I measured this out. It's 12. I measured the bottom piece. It's 6, right? 12. Now this is real 12, and then this is real 6. What did we say again? 13.4. Guess how long this is?
13.4 centimeters.
Yeah, this better be 13 point. Isn't this 13.4? Does it look like 13.4 to you?
No, it's just 13.
No, it's 13 here and then a bit more. 13.4. 13.4. It's not magic. It's called Pythagorean Theorem. Okay. Wow, this is actually, I'm enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying it too.
We do this again.
Yeah,
tomorrow?
we could certainly do this again tomorrow. So before you go, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write down where you could see this on YouTube. So if you want, you can listen to it again tonight if you have nothing better to do, right? Good, but we're gonna do this again tomorrow because this is just the first example. Good? Okay, so
So we're not working on it